Welcome to the audio laboratory. Well, if you watched our episode on compressors, you're already halfway there to understanding what a gate does. Because a compressor turns down the volume when the input goes above the threshold. And a gate will turn down the volume if the input goes below the threshold. Let's see how that could be useful to us. Here's an electric guitar into a clean amp. Now with the amp set to a higher gain, and with the treble booster pedal. As you can hear, there's quite a bit of noise in between the playing. If we set the threshold on the gate right, here's what will happen. While the instrument isn't playing and there's just noise, the gate will close down and mute the output. But as soon as the signal level rises above the threshold, the gate will open up and we can hear the signal again. It's like an auto-mute between sounds. It only lets through those parts of the signal that are above a certain level. Let's take a look at all this in the digital audio workstation. Before actually loading a gate plugin on this track, I will show you a feature of Reaper called Dynamic Split. This is similar to a gate, but instead of turning the track volume down, it cuts out the quiet parts on the timeline for you. That's perfect to visualize what a gate does. Let's start at the lowest threshold setting. Here the gate does nothing, since even the noise is louder than the threshold. The gate lets everything through. As I raise the threshold above the noise floor, only louder parts are let through by the gate, until finally only the very loudest peaks are included, and the gate becomes so strict that it doesn't let anything through anymore. The trick is to find a setting that cuts off only the unwanted parts. But let's undo that and try with an actual gate plugin. To make the transitions between opening and closing the gate smoother, we can now adjust the attack and release settings. A bit of release keeps the gate from closing down too abruptly. But be careful with the attack. If the gate takes too long to open up, you will lose the initial transient and the snappiness of the guitar. A gate doesn't necessarily have to close down all the way. You can tell it to just reduce the level of the signal at a certain ratio. This can help to make the result feel a little bit more natural, because the gate is not dipping down to total silence, but just reducing the signal by a few decibels. And sometimes that's all you need. But not all gates have this feature. Some can only mute the signal completely. Sooner or later, when using a gate, you will encounter a phenomenon called fluttering, stuttering, or chattering. This happens when the signal dances around the threshold and causes the gate to close and open. If you can't solve the problem by simply adjusting the threshold, then you have some other options. One of these is the hold setting. When the signal falls back under the threshold and the gate would normally close, this will keep it open for a little while longer. In this case, the extended opening time of the gate is enough to bridge the gaps that were there before. On some gates, you will encounter a hysteresis setting. This allows you to set a different threshold for the closing of the gate. With a hysteresis setting of -6 decibels, for example, the threshold for closing will be 6 decibels lower than the threshold for opening. The gate will still open at the regular threshold setting, but it won't close there. It will wait until the signal level has fallen another 6 decibels under the threshold before it closes again. Another common application of gates is to remove spill from individual drum recordings. When putting multiple microphones on a drum kit, you can often still hear other instruments on the individual tracks. With a gate, you can clean up the tracks, which results in a better separation and makes it easier to process them. A gate works best when the unwanted noise is a lot quieter than the signal you actually want to keep. If your signal is sinking in noise or spill from other instruments, then a gate will not help you. And of course, it's crucial to set the parameters on the gate right. It's all a matter of timing, how fast the gate opens, how long it stays open, and how fast it closes again. Ideally, you won't notice the gate at all. It becomes transparent. But get it wrong, and you will experience the typical gating effect, just like on my voice right now. And remember, a gate can't really separate the noise from your signal. It just mutes or attenuates the unwanted noises in those moments when your main signal isn't playing. But that can already make all the difference. That's it for this flashcard. Don't hesitate to leave a comment, and if you want to see more videos like this one, subscribe and ring the bell.